Alright, poetry nerds, we're doing it again. Buckle your butts in. So a long time ago, I made a Doki Doki Literature Club video where I grade the poems that the girls wrote, and that one had some interesting quality, I would say. That was the old Parker. That was the new at YouTube Parker. I'm still very new, but you know what? When you look at the old video, she didn't know any better. Forgive her. She didn't know. She didn't know to use a mic. She didn't know not to film on her couch. Like, it is what it is. I really love the poetry in this game. I love that it's a game that uses poetry like this. I love that Dan Salvato, the creator of the game, wrote as 4 different girls with 4 different writing styles. So I want to keep talking about the game. So this video is going to be very similar to the last one, where I grade the poems. I kind of take you through what's good and bad about them, what I would say to these girls if they were like students in my workshop. Unlike the last video, I'm not going to have Cadabra Guy reading the poems for me. You know, back then when I made it, I felt very self-conscious about reading the poems out loud, and honestly, looking at how I read quotes in my future videos, I should have been. That was a very legit fear. That was very valid. But today I'm doing it. Obviously, you can skip those parts, and if you like me, you will. I'm also gonna link in the description where you can find all of these poems online. Please leave in the comments if I missed anything, if you would have a different grade for these girls, if you would point out other things, or if there's other Doki Doki poems you want me to look at. So for Monika today, we're looking at The Lady Who Knows Everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders Earth. The lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. And here I am, a feather, lost adrift the sky, victim of the currents of the wind. Day after day I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains, the last dim star glimmering in the twilit sky. Until one day, the wind ceases to blow. I fall, and fall, and fall even more. Gentle as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger, the hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds with a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. Alright, I got some thoughts. I got some thoughts. An old tale tells. I like that. Whoop, whoop. I like that. That part of the first line is good. Other than that, pretty boring. If you've seen the part 1 video, then you've heard me talking about old poet voice. I don't know why that's hard to say. That's just what I call it. I don't know what else to call it. It's basically when a new writer isn't sure of their voice. They don't have their poetic voice yet, which is fine. It takes a lot of time to develop that, and you develop it just over time and practice. It's just what happens. So a lot of new writers will try to sound like how they think a poem should sound. You might be thinking of that for this poem, and that's definitely true. I definitely think that this is her writing style, but because she's making it sound like an old fable, an old tale, she gets a pass on that for me. I still think it makes this poem more boring. I still don't think it helps. She needs to cut it out with the punctuation here. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Ah, this one. The worst. You have all of this freaking space. When you have a line break, that's punctuation. When a line breaks, it's either enjambment, which means that you're supposed to not pause, you're supposed to go into the next line, which is pretty clear from the context or how you're writing, or a caesura, which means pause, which is also pretty clear. You can add, I don't really honestly mind a couple of periods thrown in to help the reader figure out where the end of sentences are. If it's a big long stanza, for example, and you have some periods thrown in there, I think that's very helpful. But just commas? No. And I had to learn this when I was starting out. I had commas everywhere, and my writing teacher just... Why? All meaning, all purpose. Ew. It's very cliched. One of the worst crimes that cliches commit is that they're boring. I don't care. All meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. Yeah, that's redundant. I do understand her wanting to take her time and emphasize, but it's saying the same thing over and over again in a very boring way. So, boo. And here I am, a feather. Okay, so I've talked about this in other videos. Having one line on its own for emphasis. I don't like it. I don't think it makes something dramatic. For me, as a submission reader for a literary magazine, to me it's a telltale sign that you don't know how to make something dramatic without doing it, because it's usually only inexperienced sounding writers that I see do it more often. I think it works a lot better for humor than it does for dramatic purposes. I don't like it more for this one and for this one. But for feather, doesn't it kind of look like a feather falling? That's not how you draw a feather. What's a feather? That's another leaf. Okay. Doesn't it... I look so stupid. Doesn't it kind of look like... I'm fine with that. Yeah, again, these ones are the worst. Sometimes I think instead of putting a comma in a line, just move the line. This isn't egregious though. This is just like a personal thing. That's fine. These ones are egregious. Egregiously stupid. Ah, look at, stop, stop it. Poetry isn't prose. You don't need to do that. And I fall and fall and fall even more gentle as a feather. You can't be a feather and fall as gently as a feather. Something that we see repeated is the wind. The speaker feeling like they are just adrift in the wind at the whims of whatever blows. This poem really feels like there's a frustration with the amount of agency this person can have. Like they're being controlled by... Is that how you spell controlled? I'm so bad at spelling. Man, I write every day. I read every day. I can't spell. I'm gonna blame ADHD on that. I'm just a cop-out. Yeah, this lack of agency. They're feeling controlled and they're looking for an answer. And we're gonna get into that a bit later. So the biggest thing for this poem, for me, is the lack of clarity. When all else has failed me. Like, what failed you? If Monika came to my class and handed me this poem, I would try to explore the idea of what failed, why they feel so anxious, what they are looking for. Why do they want this answer from the lady who knows everything? That why is what this poem would end up being about. For example, if she felt like she needed certainty because life without certainty is horrifying, a feeling we've all fucking experienced, then searching for that answer and exploring that feeling of uncertainty would be the why of the poem, would be the message of the poem. Right now, this poem kind of feels adrift. And I get why. It's because it's in the game and they can't spell it out for you without like spoiling who Monika is. So that's fine. I'm just saying if she was in my class, that is what we would tackle. This got me here. Expressionless. This word stopped me in my fucking tracks. Expressionless. So the feather has gone from a feather to a quill. This is now a meta poem. Yay! When someone calls something meta, they usually mean like it's like Deadpool and it breaks the fourth wall, but like if something is a meta poem or meta writing, then that is writing about writing. Poetry about poetry. And this image is solidified through falling between the thumb and the forefinger of the lady. So this implies that the lady is an artist. And I love that. Dry quill, expressionless, because it's not literal. It's this new description that just quietly, new meaning. Excellent. But I'm still confused. I still don't understand. I added a bump there. Whoop. I still don't understand the why of this poem, even as it shifts to meta poetry. I'm guessing it's Monika saying that she wants to express herself. She wants to create art. She's in the poetry club or the literature club, She wants to express herself, but since life feels so meaningless, she can't. My overall feeling at the end of this poem is like, where's the rest of it? Her being the quill in someone's hand could also be her looking at the game developer like she is just a tool for the programmer and she doesn't have any expression of her own, and she's now wanting to get that back. The meta poetry is that this person feels like they can't create because life has no meaning, and that kind of discussion of how you look at the world, how it affects your art, life and art mimicking each other. But I'm only saying that because I went to school for poetry, not because that's what she intended. So overall, I'm gonna give her a C+. There's some potential here. There's some stuff to work out. We can keep using this. It needs a remodel for sure. It needs a lot more thought. So Monika gets a C+. Natsuki's poems are so funny. She's the most interesting writer out of the four, in my personal opinion. If for someone who would work with her poetry, I would want to work with her the most. Eagles Can Fly, not her best work, and the way she defends it in the game afterwards, it's like, shut up. Please go watch my part 1 just for the Amy likes spiders part. Natsuki blew me out of the water. It's so good. Right now we're gonna do the Expression Express. She has... okay. I named my pen the Expression Express. My feelings aboard with a ticket to you. No room for stammers, no lies, no extra stops, no compromise. Station screaming by. Attendant saying hi. One ticket to you. Please and thank you. Take a headphone and doze. No bumps in the rails. Just thuds in my heart. And loops in my letters. And clouds in the sky. And dreams in your eyes. Hey, wake up. The train has arrived. Expression Express. Destination you. Choo choo. I don't know if I hate it. I can't tell if I hate it. Oh my god, it's making me giggle. There's something there. Hey, look at that. Another meta poem. Yippee. I really like meta poetry because that's all I do all day, and I don't have a life outside of poetry, and that's so it's the only thing I know, so it's nice. All right, remember what I said about the last poem's punctuation? Well, this one is basically one stanza with very short lines. I've written poems like that because I wanted the reader to have to speed up. You have to read it, you end up reading it very quickly. And if it rhymes, or God forbid, has alliteration, you speed up like crazy. It feels like you're almost rapping. If she threw in a couple of periods, I would have forgiven her. This poem reads just fine without them. I just wanted to point out the different uses of punctuation between the girls. Bravo, Dan Salvato. Like, cool. Like, a period could have gone here. Not mad that it didn't. Or even a line break. I think I would have preferred a line break, but I'm having trouble picturing a high schooler writing this. Whatever. It's cute. This poem feels like it's dying to rhyme. Where are the rhymes? There's a few. I will say this and then get off of rhyming. Fucking love rhyming. I was taught that if only 2 lines rhymed, or very sparsely lines rhymed, very purposefully, that those 2 ideas were connected. And it was the poet trying to signify that you need to think of those things together, put those themes together. So if you're not gonna do that, don't do that. Try not to rhyme once. It also sounds kind of weird because you have this flow going and then a rhyme and then you're out. Unless it goes with the theme, unless it plays with something, try not to do that. If the one at the end was the only one, that's fine. I think it ties it up nice. It has some closure there. Cool. The rest of them, stop it. I want to get a little nitpicky for a second. I know that's so unlike me. Screaming. It's almost the wrong word. It's almost the right word. Glass half full, glass half empty. I don't know. change. When it comes to poetry, or any writing, honestly any writing, picking the right word is a very nitpicky process. Poets who really study their craft, poets who really look and dissect it, poets who get really good feedback will have someone or themselves combing over the sound, the use, the connotation of every single word that goes in there. I remember one writer talking, I think it was on Masterclass, the Billy Collins Masterclass. One writer was saying that she wrote a short story and she gave it to someone for feedback, and they highlighted the word utensil and they were like, you have to use fork here. You can't use utensil. It sounds too formal. The sound of the word doesn't work at all. And that word just not fitting the tone, the language was enough to take someone out of the writing. So yeah, screams, it almost feels too violent. This part of the poem has a lot of energy. It's nice. You feel it. It's good. So you do want a high energy word like screaming, but you want one that sounds a little less, cruel. Why did I rate it like that? So I would suggest something more like blasting. Also, blasting doesn't have the skr sound, which I think works. And you can say it's the alliteration with stations. I don't care. The alliteration doesn't save that. I'm taken out. But you know what is a word that does sound sinister, that does work very well? Clouds in the sky. Ooh, clouds? Foreshadowing? Something bad's happening? Usually when something's good and carefree, there's no clouds in the sky. It would go with the game. Definitely go with the game. A little, like, clouds made me lean forward a bit, like, why? You know? I really like that part. Yay! Hey, wake up. The train has arrived. I like this. This, what is it? Did I forget a word? Apostrophe? No, that's not apostrophe. I like this. Hey, wake up! I do wonder, though, why this person is sleeping. Because we see hey, wake up, and we see doze. Why are they sleeping? Why? This poem has such energy. It could signal security with her, being safe, feeling safe with someone, that you can rest with someone. Maybe they're asleep and not conscious of Natsuki's feelings. I feel like the player knows very much that everyone's fucking into him. I like this. This is another part. I just like it. Loops in my letters. Words going together. Very nice, Natsuki. Very nice. The biggest thing that I would say about this poem that gives away that she is a beginner is this part. So my pen is the expression expressed. My feelings, this poem is all aboard with a ticket to you. It's coming to you. You're over there. We're on our way. So then why over here does it say take a headphone and doze? Like, unless, are the attendants telling her to take a headphone and doze? I doubt it. I feel like it's Natsuki telling the you to just, take it easy on the train. So why is the you over here and then on the train? You on this train? And if it is the attendants, that has to be way more clear. I don't know. Am I being stupid? Something beginner writers do a lot, especially when they're writing third person in a book, is they will just switch up POVs. That's this vibe. They will just go this person's head, then this person's head, and quickly switch between them whenever they feel like it. And they can follow it very, very easily because, they're the ones who wrote it. That's a lesson I had to learn with one of the first drafts of my book. I just switched around to whoever I felt like, and switching that much takes the reader out of it. It makes it harder for them to follow. It makes it harder for them to emotionally attach to anybody. And beginner writers tend to do it without understanding that it's wrong or even that it might be an issue. So I would tell Natsuki to have more control over where this you person is. Just be more thoughtful, be more clear. Yes, you can follow it. Still logically, you can follow it unless you're like me going, the attendant, who the fuck is talking? but it'll make the reader feel disconnected. The reader feeling that little bit of unsureness will make them feel disconnected and make them take even just a half step away from your poem. We don't want that. This ending is adorable. I love the choo-choo. I love it. Hey, wake up. The train has arrived. Expression express. Destination you. Choo-choo. That's nice. I'm gonna give this poem B-. Because, yes, it switches like an amateur would, and it's dying to rhyme when it doesn't. It is very beginner. There's some issues here, but you can feel it. You can feel like she's excited. You feel excited. The ending's adorable. I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. It stops it from being a C. So now it's time for Yuri. If you've seen part 1, you know how much I love Yuri. I love her. She's talented. Alright, that might sound mean. So we're gonna be doing the second part of the Ghost Under the Light poem from the first video I made. But while I was looking up poems for this video, I did find another one from Yuri that I really do want to talk about. I'm not doing that in this video. I kind of really want to make a part 3 of this. Part 3? Part 3? Okay. Alright, let's go. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing in the distance, a blue-green light flickers. A lone figure crosses its path, a silhouette obstructing the eerie glow. Okay. My heart pounds. The silhouette grows. Closer, closer. I open my umbrella, casting a shadow to shield me from visibility, but I am too late. He steps into the streetlight. I gasp and drop my umbrella. The light flickers. My heart pounds. He raises his arm. Time stops. The only indication of movement is the amber light flickering against his outstretched arm. The flickering light is in rhythm with the pounding of my heart, teasing me for succumbing to this forbidden emotion. Have you ever heard of a ghost feeling warmth before? Giving up on understanding, I laugh. Understanding is overrated. I touch his hand. The flickering stops. The ghosts are blue and green. My heart is amber. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. I want to skip it. I'm sorry. Giving up on understanding, I laugh. Yeah, me too, Yuri. Fuck. There's something called simple confessional poetry. That's what I call it because I don't know what else to call it. I talk about it in part 1, I believe. It relies on cliches. It relies on this overdramatic voice to convey any meaning whatsoever. And all the meaning that it does convey, like under the surface, is something 1,000 people have said before in way more interesting ways than this. It just depends on shit like lines by themselves, bathing, gross, tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the ember glow. Like that kind of language. I can't stand it because it's so empty. Did you notice how Natsuki's poem, you could feel its energy even though it had very simple language and even though it had its own issues and its own structural issues and it didn't really sound too poetic. It kind of sounded like a kid's song. You could still feel it. It was way more original than this. I'm going to talk about the punctuation in this one too. So first off, closer and closer, not having any punctuation, but having the capital letters to create this new kind of punctuation. That's what poetry is, baby. That's the only kind of cool thing that Yuri does in this poem. You can use punctuation however you want. Other than that, the punctuation, these ones, I don't like it, not because it's overused and the poem is clear without it, but because it's almost jolting. In the distance, a blue-green light flickers. A lone figure crosses its path. A silhouette obstructing the eerie glow. Like, spit it out. Spit it out. It wants to tell a story, but it keeps stuttering on itself. And yes, these can be, like, slow, dramatic pauses to slow down the reader. Slowing down the reader is a very legitimate technique and very useful what the fuck is it doing here? It's just making you sit in this fucking shit stew for longer. When he said he raises his arm, did anybody else get like a image in their head? Is he doing this? Because then Yuri should say he extended his hand. Is he raising his arm like, "Milady, let's go walking"? Like, how is he? I'm guessing it's the milady thing. But the first thing that pops into my head was, and maybe that's a me problem. Maybe I'm fucked up. Yeah, so these lines by themselves, if I, in all my talking about them, have not convinced you to stop using them, please let Yuri's example stop you from using them. Yuri, if you could write suspense properly, you wouldn't need all these pauses, and I wouldn't need a fucking lobotomy. You can create drama in your poem by giving your poem actual meaning and actual interesting things to say, and not rely on cheap tricks. Overdramatic language with nothing backing it up is empty. It's just empty. It's just flowery. It's a simple confessional. That's what it is. I liked Natsuki's use of pounding heart a lot more, because it's like mixing the mechanics of the train with the beating of the heart, because the train is the emotion in the poem going to the person. So that works. That's kind of, it's sweet. It's simple, but it's sweet. This one is just, shut up. Again, the meaning isn't clear. Touching his hand, this is about the player character coming, and that's why there's no, it's just like Monika's poem. There's not a lot of meaning or why or theme revealed in this poem because it's for the game. I get that. I would want that more. Blue, green, and amber. I do like this image. The second thing Yuri has done right. I like the opposites in this image, but they don't mean much because there's no why to this poem because it's in the game. She also overuses the word amber. I would have used it twice tops in this poem. Max twice. Flickering. I would have used flickering once. Amber and warmth go together. And the ghosts are blue-green. So they're coming to her for warmth. Also teasing me. Tone shift. Is she scared or not? Is she scared or not? Does she want to hide from this person or not? What? Where did this come from? What is the significance of them being a ghost? I should eat breakfast more before recording these. I don't like bathing. Tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. Soaking them in. Giving... Oh, fuck. So you're personifying your hair. For what reason? I get that she's the amber and the ghosts are the blue-green and they're coming to her for warmth, but like... What a useless image to start with. That's the beginning of your poem and you're gonna start with something that stupid. Lone figure crosses its path. And silhouette, like lone figure and silhouette, pick one. I hate that. Cause amber glow and then eerie glow, that feels different. Amber feels warmth and welcoming, right? Like the amber glow of the hearth is something poems would say. Eerie glow. Is it even raining? Okay, obstructing. A silhouette obstructs the eerie glow, and then he steps into the streetlight. Was he not already in the light? If you're obstructing the light, aren't you already like in front of the light? Isn't the light already hitting you? So he's now stepping into the streetlight, and the streetlight is the amber glow. The streetlight is the amber glow, but also Yuri is the amber glow, and there's also a streetlight that is the eerie glow? Why is the light flickering? I'm guessing that means like a connection is building, you're getting closer, it's not fully there yet, my heart is pounding, the light, again, the pounding and the flickers could mean the same thing. Yuri being the light, her heart pounding, that goes together. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Please leave in the comments what you think of this poem. Please, pretty please. To shield me from visibility. So light in poems usually means understanding. Did you fucking hear that? My stomach is angry. So, Cadaver Guy promised that we would go get sushi today. He didn't promise. He said if I get home from work early, we'll go for sushi. So I didn't eat breakfast, and I didn't take my Vyvanse. That's bad. You take your pills. But I didn't. I made myself more hungry on purpose in case we go. And then he said that he's probably working a full day today, and so now my stomach is screaming. I make good decisions. So light, yeah, means understanding. And to be fair, this idea is brought back in with the fact that she says understanding is overrated. So the light was on her. Maybe that was it. The bathing, she was really understanding. She was in the light. And now the silhouette, the lone figure, the blah, 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 is in between her and the light. Light isn't getting to her anymore. She says understanding is overrated. She's ready for this new experience where she can be just taken by emotion. Understanding of what? I'm moving on. I'm done. I'm moving on. I think I saved one of the most interesting poems for last. I'm really excited about Sayori's. This poem hit me in a way that I didn't expect, and now I think it might be my favorite thing. There once was a ladybug. It was so small, it took a very long time to crawl from here to there. It was very tiring to fly for too long. Nobody squashes ladybugs because they're cute. Does that make them better than other bugs? Do ladybugs know they're cute? I think they're too preoccupied with bug things. And so, the ladybug crawled around and did bug things. This story wasn't really going anywhere, but I know you don't mind. I hope you think it's nice for being there anyway. Like ladybugs. Like this ladybug. The one who clings like a doof onto your sleeve because it knows you won't squash it. If it doesn't bug you, will you stay a while? Oh. Yes! Poetry. First off, boring. First line. Forgivable. It's kind of the point. That's one word now. I'm not going to talk about the punctuation in here. It's used too much. That's fine. Punctuation that is good to always use is a question mark. Always keep those in your poems. So yeah, it's boring. It's boring. When I read this the first time, the first fresh take, I thought, yeah, okay, the ladybug, yeah, it's doing stuff, okay. Then it gets to this line. And I'm like, it called me out, because I had that thought right before that. The story wasn't really going anywhere. Yeah. This poem read my mind. And then I was hooked. I was like, oh, where's this going? Intrigue! Alright, let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about the beginning part. It took a really long time to crawl from here to there. I love whimsy. I love whimsy in a poem. I feel like this is how I try to write my poems, with like weird descriptors. Like, this isn't weird, but like, is whimsy the right word? I should know how to use words. This one has the same vibe. The crawling from here to there, or pointing out that it takes a long time to crawl from here to there, has the same vibe as like they're preoccupied with bug things. That kind of language. Do butterflies know they're cute? What a stupid question. Excellent. The ladybug feels safe. And knowing Sayori, a character who feels very anxious a lot, and they feel very self-conscious a lot, and they feel like people will abandon them, and they don't want to trouble people with their emotions. Sayori doesn't want to be squashed. Squished? Am I even saying squashed? She doesn't want to get squished. Maybe she's jealous. Oh my god, does jealous have an A? Ah! They're too preoccupied with both things. The thought that you could just not be worried about rejection is something that Sayori probably would envy someone for. This doesn't have a jealous tone. I'm thinking about the character, which I shouldn't be doing for this breakdown here. I don't think I could talk about that meaning of wanting to not get squished in this kind of part of the poem without also talking about who Sayori is in the game. I think they have to kind of go together, which is why it's in the game. That's okay, whatever. The one who clings like a doof. Yeah, so that part about being squished before really goes with this line. The one who clings like a doof onto your sleeve because it knows you won't squash it. Haven't we all been this ladybug? Who just wants to hang out. Who just wants to just spend time with someone for the sake of spending time with someone. Haven't we all had a ladybug in our life that maybe we need to treat kinder, that we need to just slow down and enjoy? This is very much like a smell the roses type poem. Just stop and enjoy something. Like this ladybug. Yeah, that's fucking Sayori right there. I hope you think it's nice for being there anyway. Yeah. I just love how gentle this poem is, how simple it is, how quaint it is, a little bit of whimsy. I fucking love that. Again, that's why I hate Yuri's poem so much, because it depends on its language for its meaning, instead of using whatever language goes with a meaning that is actually there. And if it doesn't bug you, puns. Excellent. A pun? A freaking pun? Yes. The story wasn't really going anywhere, but I know you don't mind. I love this talking to the reader. Whoop. I love that this part here took its time to zoom in. Like ladybugs. Like this ladybug. And excellent. See? That's a little dramatic. And look, if Yuri wrote this poem, she would have put that on its own line by itself to make it dramatic. Sayori didn't have to do that. Will you stay a while? Don't you want to say yes? Don't you want to answer? Yeah, I think I will. And this poem saying that this ladybug doesn't want to get squished, and you wouldn't want to squish it. You wouldn't want to do that. Isn't it nice that this ladybug stayed with you for a while, giving you almost this credit? And then it's saying, will you stay a while? Yeah, I will. I feel like I could be the person to do that now, you know? I love this. A plus. A plus. A plus. In my last video, I said that Natsuki was the best poet, but obviously for this video, I'm gonna go with Sayori because that poem made me go, huh? What? Called me out. It read my mind. An excellent job, Dan Salvato, for, again, writing this fucking meta horror game in the first place, and then also writing as these 4 different girls. More poetry should be in things. I love it. A pun, if it doesn't bug you. Yes. Yes. Get excited, guys. Yeah, for this one, if I had to rank them, it would be Sayori, Natsuki. Natsuki's only going second because I could feel something from her poem. Aren't poems about feeling things? Monika, Yuri. Am I being too hard on Yuri? I fucking hate it. But I will say, again, I found a poem that does look more interesting from her that I would like to talk about in another video if you guys want me to. So maybe I will be nicer to Yuri. She better earn it. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. Let me know if there's other poems. Let me know if there's any poems from any media that you would like me to talk about. I would go check out Cadabra Guy, but I don't know if he's gonna take me to sushi tonight, so I think we should all block him. Mass report him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Did you guys know that Cadabra Guy writes poetry? Did you know that that's how we met in school? I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should have a video where I do this to Cadabra Guy's poetry. Please get in his comments and beg him to let me do that. If you're still watching, please come a little poet boy. What, are you gonna rhyme? Alright.